Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick, and I am joined once again by Gareth, because like me, you are one of these fools who are going to play X-Wing and Legion. How are you?
Not too bad, absolutely I'm going to play both.
Absolutely. So, we're going to talk about Legion lists, and we're going to talk in this video about X-Wing lists. Now, you are one of those filthy bomber players, aren't you?
Oh, I love bombs.
You do, you do. I've played you a few times with bombs. You're quite capable at the old bombing. So I thought, while I have you here in my office recording videos, we're going to do another list review video talking about bombs. This is going to be the first video I do that is not faction specific. So Gareth, why bombs?
I love the tactical difference they are to them. The way to win at X-Wing, I found, is that you want to make your opponent play your game. Bombs offer a very different style of game to most lists. You're wanting your opponent to be behind you. Most lists,
of the time.
You want your opponent to be in front of you. With bombs, you want them to be behind you. You want them to be coming onto you.
That's right, yeah.
Whereas, and if you can make them do that, you can win the game.
It's almost like you're doing the thing that would usually make you lose games.
Yeah.
Using it to your advantage. It's a completely different tactic altogether. And I have made the comment before that whenever bombs get really big in the meta, I'm not really a big fan of that because they do become a bit oppressive. I will say I'm not against bombs fundamentally. It's just when we have certain combinations that are really hard to counter. And what bombs do is they alter the way you have to fly in order to counter it. And the issues that sometimes arise in the meta is when that becomes a factor. Oh, but these lists also have harpoon missiles. Oh, and they also arc dodge it. Oh, and they also do this and that. And that's when they become really oppressive. But bombs unto themselves are an interesting tactic and perfectly harmless unto themselves. So it's a discussion we sort of continually have because, yes, they've crept up a few times meta-wise and they've become to the point where, oh, we don't like this, we have to nerf it, we have to nerf it. But it's something that FFG have always got to try and tweak the balance on. And it's an interesting conversation to have. When it comes to bombs, the main things that have been breaking those lists is like Trajectory Simulator, Genius, and Sabine. And from those point of view, it seems like, particularly now that the other two things have been hampered a bit, a lot of things when we're talking about Rebel Bombers is how do we break Sabine? Which is fine. I don't have a problem with Sabine as a whole. It's just the way she's implemented and the way she's used. And it's something to always be very cautious about because, spoiler alert, a couple of the lists we're going to talk about now is Sabine-centric. It's a lot of value for 2 points. A lot of people I know sort of say, hey, this is broken, we need to nerf it. I'm not in that camp. I think it's a good, unique effect that needs to be countered. And from that point of view, let's talk about this very first list, which happens to be submitted by you. So, this list that you've submitted contains Crimson Leader, AP5, and Captain Nim. Crimson Leader has Accuracy Corrector, Proton Bombs, Ordnance Silos, and Deflective Plating.
AP5 on the Sheathopede with Sabine.
And Nim has VI, TLT, Bomblet Generator, Advanced Sensors, Genius, and the Havoc title. Pretty standard build for Captain Nim. It's these other two, which I think are probably where all the spice is.
Yeah, this is a list that I sort of came up with as the Sheathopede and Crimson Leader were spoiled. And I flew a slight variant of this at the release day tournament.
Yes, AP5 actually had a bomb on him when I flew against you.
I had Seismic Charges.
Ah, yes.
Which was the cheapest bomb you can field.
It is, but the value was Sabine. I mean, you're not complaining.
2 points of damage to one ship with a point of damage to every ship in range.
Or just 1 point of damage and another bomb used to Sabine, but it's still strong.
And in order to make room for that, I dropped the protons down to, I believe, thermals.
The protons being on Crimson Leader, yes. Yeah, I can see the logic there. Protons are a lot of fun, but it really comes down to the way you like to fly it.
The thermal detonators added a little bit of control to the list as well, because you've got that stress control.
For sure.
Turning off expertise.
You can make the argument that proton bombs gives you control, but it's less consistent. Yeah. The guaranteed stress is always good. I see why you've gone protons and ordnance silos. The value of ordnance silos with proton bombs is obscene. It's basically what, 20 points worth of bombs for 7 points.
The ordnance silos are incredible because you're very rarely getting off more than 4 bombs in a game anyway.
That's pretty much it. It's capping you out.
Yeah.
And I think it's the thing that makes these resistance bombers usable. Pure and simple, it's the ordnance silo. We've got K-Wings, we have Slam, Advanced Slam, even though they can't drop bombs, that's still potent. Captain Nim can hold bombs in the air, that kind of stuff. What makes the resistance bomber is the ordnance silos, and that's what it boils down to. Crimson Leader's ability, what was you thinking there?
Crimson Leader's ability pairs with the accuracy corrector.
There was a bit of a cut there while we were just mining through a few FAQs because this is important. This has not been FAQ, but it is in the rules insert for the Resistance Bomber, and it's to do with Crimson Leader's ability in combination with Accuracy Corrector. Can you please explain this?
Crimson Leader's ability allows you to, when attacking... Can we bring it up and I'll read it out? Crimson Leader's ability says, when attacking, if the defender is inside your firing arc, you may spend 1 hit or crit result to assign the rattled condition to the defender. When you suffer damage from a bomb, you suffer 1 additional critical damage, then remove this card. As an action, roll 1 attack die on a hit focus result, remove this card.
Okay, and the clarification we were looking up is to do with spending dice. Does it count as modifying?
Well, what you do is you roll your attack dice. If you roll a hit, fantastic. You spend it and apply the rattle condition. You then accuracy corrector.
Correct.
You get 2 hits. Only got 2 attack dice anyway.
Exactly.
Chances
right.
are you might be lucky and get 2 crits.
Exactly right.
If you're firing at a decimator with no shields left.
That's
probably.
right. Situational. The odds are it's going to be very high value on this ship.
If your attack dice rolled all blanks or focuses, you accuracy corrector. And because spending is not a dice modification, you spend one of those accuracy corrector hits to apply the condition. Then they still have to roll defense on the 1 dice that got through anyway.
Yeah, which is nice. It's a very, very potent interaction.
Guaranteeing that rattle condition. Which means either they're going to have to spend an action to get rid of it, or they're going to have to risk that extra damage, that added value from those bombs.
Absolutely. And I think when we look at that interaction, it makes more sense to try and get a bomb in AP5 because you really want to use rattled.
Yeah.
And proton bombs is awesome. And I think you got to ask yourself, what's higher value, proton bombs or more bombs on the list?
Oh, more bombs.
I think the answer is more bombs for sure. So I think you made the right call there when you changed the list. And the list is just nasty. We were talking before about let's get Sabine in builds and find a way to break her.
AP5 is the cheapest way to field Sabine on the table.
It is, yes, very good point. And you're feeling pretty good about it.
And AP5 is a good ship. His ability to be able to remove stress tokens, so powerful.
AP5 is no joke.
Oh.
He is an amazing 15 points.
Shooting last, even 2 dice does damage.
Yeah.
The number of times AP5 got the kill shot when I was flying that list.
Yeah, the rookie from downtown, as I like to say.
Yeah.
It's insane. AP5 gives you complete redundancy in Zeb Aurelius. It is worth noting that we have the bomblet generator on Nim, and yes, if you use the Genius interaction there, it will discard. However, Genius is free. You may as well give yourself the option just in case.
Genius is free, and the one perfect moment.
Oh, yeah.
I've had it before. We were moving at PS10. You get that one perfect time.
Or if it's not perfect and Nim's about to die.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And putting it in a different location is better. It's worth it for that one time when it saves your life. And it's free.
I agree, it's free. It has some very minimal value, but just in a tournament, you're going to feel great about it on one occasion, and that's worth 0 points and the salvage astromech slot for sure.
There's no other 0 point. Well, there is one other 0 point unique.
Let's not talk about R5TK,
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about it. And Advanced Sensors is a potent card. Alongside AP5, it gives Nim a lot of flexibility. I really like your list. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not just wimping out because the person sitting right here. I actually really like this. And as I said before, finding unique and broken ways to put Sabine into lists is fantastic. Let's move on to the next list because we have fawned over your list for far too long. Let's talk about this by Rhino Doherty. This is Captain Oiken and Deathrain. Oiken has Daredevil, Dauntless, Engine Upgrade, Bowsheck, Inspiring Recruit, and Cluster Mines and extra munitions.
Deathrain has Enhanced Scopes, Lightweight Frame, Proximity Mines, Cluster Mines, extra munitions.
Now, Deathrain's not something we're a huge fan of, but I think what we're going for here is a bit more control with the way you place bombs, and Oiken is helping give you a bit more control over the way your opponents move, and that makes a lot of sense.
It's the old Oiken.
So we have things like Bowsheck, we have Dauntless, we have 2 Inspiring Recruits, which is interesting.
Removing 3... Where are you getting the 3 stress from?
I don't know. Well, the idea is Oiken can remove his stress and Deathrain can remove his stress at the same time. Sure, if they both do stressful maneuvers, that's okay. I mean, there's 1 stress from Dauntless, and Deathrain could do a stressful maneuver. I don't think it's enough value with 2 Inspiring Recruits. I think there's absolutely value for Intel Agent on this list.
Yes.
Absolutely. Deathrain wants to know where to go.
Before Bowsheck.
Yeah, for sure. That's fine. That's fine. There's still value because your other ship has barrel roll. It drops bombs as actions. Yeah, you want Intel Agent on this really badly. I've said it before, I say it again. Generic 1-point crews, Intel Agent always gets a look in. It is a fantastic card. It's underrated by new players. It is nuts. It is nuts. Anything that has barrel roll or boosts, Deathrain has boosts, Oiken has boosts, they're going to get some value out of Intel Agent.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Bowsheck is a lot of fun. This is a fun list. I think that's what we have to sort of break down here. Look, at the end of the day, Oiken and a Punisher isn't the most competitive thing you can put on the board, but you've got some fun interaction here.
Getting the Oiken up and ramming him into the middle of the enemy is always entertaining.
Yeah, follow it up with Deathrain, drop some bombs around, just have a grand old time. Let's move on to the next list from Evan Cloutier. We have Crimson Leader, Crimson Specialist, and a Dagger Squadron B-Wing. Crimson Leader has Trajectory Simulator, Ordnance Silos, Thermal Detonators, and Deflective Plating.
Crimson Specialist has the Trajectory Simulator, Bomblet Generator, and Deflective Plating.
And our Dagger Squadron B-Wing has the Trajectory Simulator, Extra Munitions, B-Wing A2, Sabine Wren, and Seismic Charges. Another fun application of Sabine.
Yeah. Similar list to this with the Arc 170 rather than the Dagger. Has recently won a regional, I believe.
Yes, indeed. Look, let's be honest, the Arc 170 is probably a more competitive ship that sits around the same kind of point cost. So I can understand why something like that's taken a regional and something like this is probably just more fun.
Yeah.
I've talked about B-Wings before. I love how spicy they are. I love how interesting their pilot abilities are. This is a generic, so that doesn't really apply. And look, they're a great fun ship, but they're probably more better on the casual scene rather than competitive scene.
They've always been my favourite Star Wars ship.
Absolutely.
I just wish they were a little bit better in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think we all do. I think their quote-unquote fix didn't really take as well as they would have hoped. I fully endorse a second fix if that ever becomes a precedent. And from that point of view, let's think about this as a good, fun, casual list, and you've definitely got that here. You've got the abilities of Crimson Leader and Specialist, respectively, alongside Sabine Wren, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'd be tempted, as we said earlier, to put the accuracy corrector on.
Yeah, of course you would. You put it on. But you could think about that for sure, if there's a way to shave off points elsewhere.
Good combination. The deflective plating allows you to make use of that trajectory simulator, because you're going to be in range of your own bombs.
For sure. I mean, Crimson Leader's ability is potent enough, I theorise, to not need the push from the upgrades. I talked about this when it was revealed. It's a good ability. You'll be happy just to bomb, and when that activates...
Rolling 2 dice, you've got a 75% chance of hitting a hit or a crit.
That's right. So it's pretty solid. So when your opponent's in front of you, get the rattle condition off. When they're behind you, just bomb the ever-loving stuff out of them. And going down to Crimson Specialist, yeah, I like Bomblet Generator. There's not much to say. It's solid. So what we have is 2 nice, efficient bombers alongside a ship carrying Sabine. And look, Evan, if you're watching, consider AP5, because I can tell you from first-hand experience, losing to Gareth right here, it works. And that shaves off a lot of points, and then you can stack more stuff on, and that's why you can think about Captain Nim and all that kind of stuff. The B-Wing is going to be fun. I just think there's probably better options than a B-Wing. That's just what it boils down to. The B-Wing can take Trajectory Simulator, and that's probably the spiciest thing about it. And we're actually measuring this beforehand. You can Trajectory Simulator and do the one forward and not hit the bomb. Obviously, with the big ships, you have to do the one hard. The B-Wing has a bit more options. Thankfully, because it's one hard to red. It's not something you want to do too often. The 2 forward will do it. The 1 forward and bank is pretty safe. And yeah, Sabine Wren, it's another platform for Sabine Wren, so at the very least, you're going to have a real fun time with this. Alright, the next list we have is from Doug Popson. This has a TIE Bomber with Deathfire, Backdraft in a TIE SF, and Death Rain in a Punisher. Deathfire has extra munitions, unguided rockets, cluster mines, and lightweight frame.
Death Rain on the TIE Punisher has unguided rockets, bomblet generator, advanced sensors, and lightweight frame.
And the SF with Backdraft has marksmanship, fire control system, lightweight frame, special ops training, and pattern analyzer. And I want to talk about Backdraft first, because I think it's the most obvious thing in terms of what we can play around with. I don't feel like marksmanship is really where this ship wants to be. I get it. You can shoot twice with the SF, and marksmanship has a bit more value the more you can shoot. I just think its home, if anything, on the SF is with quick draw. I don't think it's slinging enough dice to really justify it here. I just think something like Veteran Instincts or Push the Limits is going to just be your friend a bit more with this.
VI is always a solid choice.
Yeah, and they're getting up to PS9.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. There's not much to say about it. I know VI is a very boring choice, but it's a really solid choice.
You can move after ships like Miranda.
Yeah, absolutely.
You won't be doing that.
And especially with Pattern Analyzer, suddenly your maneuvers and your actions become more and more important when you put VI on. And Fire Control System, again, loosens up your ability to take certain actions. And with VI, you're probably just going to have a bit of a better time. Marksmanship can be a really frustrating upgrade. I've seen people get really salty with marksmanship because you take the action, then you don't roll focuses. And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, although, same thing with... It doesn't feel as bad with the focus token.
Yeah, well, the focus token, you can get it on defense as well. Marksmanship, yes. It's like you're banking really hard on rolling focus results. Look, it's something that you think about with a lot of dice ships, but even then, you're probably thinking more about expertise. And again, I know it's the meta choice, it's the boring thing everyone takes, but it's just a bit more of a consistent thing. I get the impression marksmanship was kind of designed, I mean, it was Wave 2, it came with the Slave 1. It was designed back in the time, it's like, ooh, can we make more potent ability out of these focus tokens? And expertise is like the culmination of what that idea was meant to be.
Yeah, it feels like a proto-expertise.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think, yeah, you're probably going to get better options on there. Let's look at the bombers. I like them. I don't really know if unguided rockets is really what you want to bother with, especially on Deathfire, because let's be honest, we can put harpoons on this, and I know, the comment section is lighting ablaze with, Nick, stop telling everyone to use harpoon missiles, we hate them. But you can, and it's going to be very good. You've already got extra munitions, so yeah.
Harpoons are the best missile in the game.
They are. And look, if you take VI on Backdraft, drop unguided rockets, you have the points to put harpoons on Deathfire. And you're going to have a real good time with it, let's be honest.
And the SF produces crits out the back, does it not?
It does.
To proc the harpoons.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point.
Guaranteed way to proc the harpoons.
Yeah. Hashtag value. Absolutely. Yeah, I know that's boring. I know that's meta. I know that's, what all lists are doing. But we are at a point in the meta of X-Wing. If these things don't get nerfed, basically we're in a position where if you tack them into a list, they're going to help you. They don't really need a solid build around, and this list almost has a solid build around built into it because of Backdraft. It's going to be good. I'm sorry. This is going to be good. You're just sitting here smiling going, yeah, it's where you want to be.
I have harpoons on my current lists.
Yeah, so you can't complain too much. As for Death Rain, I don't mind it. I just don't know about Bomblet Generator. It's a little bit awkward on Death Rain because you can no longer trajectory simulator with Death Rain. We know that.
Well, you can. You just can't use the ability. You can't use her Death Rain's ability if you use Trajectory Simulator.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one or the other, which again lowers the value on Death Rain, which is not where you want to be at either.
Punisher's not the best value ship to start with.
It's absolutely one of the candidates for the next fix, I believe. Bomblet Generator, look, if you drop it out the front, do the barrel roll, you're still hard-pressed to get out of that range 1. Look, Death Rain wants to be using action-style bombs that go off when you collide with them. That's really what the ship loves doing.
Mines.
Cluster mines, even proxies. And you can do a straight trade for proxies in this. But what you can also do, if you don't want to worry about advanced sensors, and I don't see a whole heap of value for advanced sensors in this build, you can just drop Bomblet and advanced sensors for clusters and extra munitions. And it's probably just better value for Death Rain, to be honest.
Bomblet kind of feels like an advanced sensors for Death Rain anyway.
For sure.
Because you can just drop the bomb out the back. You don't have to do it forward. You can choose to go out the back. His ability gives him a barrel roll.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're using the advanced sensors for the barrel roll.
Yeah, so from that point of view, you still get a bit of value out of him in that you can just drop the Bomblet regularly, then do a free barrel roll. That's a little bit of value.
Yeah, it feels like a semi-advanced sensors anyway.
For sure. I just think, and again, I know it's the thing to do, but action bombs probably just gives you better value on this ship. Unfortunately, we can't get that Bomblet Generator on that bomber. I know, it's wrong, it's criminal.
One day.
If you're looking at making this a fun, casual build, okay, don't worry about harpoons, but definitely try and even out this Death Rain build so it's doing things that Death Rain's ability wants. I will say, though, if you have a different Punisher, pretty much any of the other ones, Bomblet Generator becomes much more appealing.
Yes.
So that's something you could think about. Even like a generic or something like that, the Bomblet Generator is going to be fun. It's not the most high-value Bomblet Generator you can have, but it's the only option that Imperials have right now.
I suspect that's going to change.
I hope that's going to change. Again, we're talking about second fixes. Hey, a bomber title that gives it the extra bomb thing. Oh, that'd be dumb, but who knows? We'll find out. Let's move on. We have the very last list we have here. One last Rebel list. And this is interesting. This is sort of like a Y-Wing spam alongside Ahsoka Tano in the TIE Fighter. Each of these 3 Gold Squadron pilots has bomb loadout, extra munitions, flight assist, astromech, and proxy mines.
And Ahsoka Tano has VI, Sabine Wren, Scavenger Crane, proxy mines, captured TIE, and Sabine's masterpiece.
Again, let's find a fun platform for Sabine and see what happens.
This one is interesting
because
it plays the "you can't shoot me because you have a lower pilot skill" card.
That's just it. Now, what's disappointing about this is we don't have BTLA-4 Y-Wing alongside that flight assist astromech. I love the value that gives this kind of thing. It does have double proxy mines. I mean, what can we do? We could change proxies out for seismic charges and then go dorsal BTLA-4. Is that going to be, is that hedging too much? What do you think?
The useful thing about the proxy mines is they stick around, so you can close lanes with them.
That's right. And then Sabine is that threat of Sabine stays on the board.
Possibly use it swapping the proxy mines on Ashoka with the with a smaller bomb.
Well, I think bombs that drop before you move are higher value on the higher PS ships.
Yes.
So you could definitely think about like a thermal detonators or something like that.
Knowing you're not going to waste them, you're not going to use them and not hit anybody.
It's not like with the Y-Wings, if you use a seismic charge, you're going to drop and go, "Ooh, I hope they fly here. These are the first things flying." Yep. That's not going to feel good. I mean, PS2, they might not be the first things flying, but the odds are they are. Miranda and Nim are in the meta for a reason. They're both super efficient. They both bomb just in the way they want to bomb. We haven't talked about any of these lists, but look, we don't have to because we already know about that. I already talk about that every time they come up in a major tournament and I do a review on the tournament. But these fun, janky ways of putting Sabine in different lists is really good. And you're going to have a fun time, and you're going to have a great time in like casual tournaments and that kind of thing. And that's just fine. At the end of the day, doing stuff like this really is great for experimentation. It's great for the day when something might get nerfed and suddenly you have to jump into the next tier down in terms of list building for bombs with Sabine. And from this point of view, this list is a great learning tool because you've got Fly Assist Astromech on Y-Wing. That's going to teach you that interaction. I love Fly Assist Astromech alongside Proxy Mines, by the way, because it means you get the bonus value of being able to potentially Fly Assist Astromech into the perfect spot to drop your bomb. And that might just be fantastic.
Yeah. I think the Flight Assist Astromech is made for the BTL4 title.
Absolutely. It is, but in this list, we don't have that option. Yeah. There's no 2-point... Oh, you get Auto Blaster. Ooh, do you want an Auto Blaster? Drop extra munitions to put Auto Blasters on instead. Ooh, that's tempting.
Yeah, Auto Blaster's nice.
Then you get into range 1, POW 3 red primary, POW Auto Blaster. And it's important to, you know, play around with these thought experiments and actually like put them into practice and practice with them, because they're going to really, A, make you a better pilot in different scenarios, but B, they're going to give you practice in list building for the times when things get nerfed and things get changed and you have to try to adapt to the new meta. And from that point of view, I love this list. There's just no two ways about it. I think Ahsoka Tano is fantastic value. I think the Gold Squadron pilots are really good value in this archetype.
Yeah, the Scavenger Crane on Ahsoka, being able to reclaim that proxy bind.
And Ines, I'm glad to hear you've had a bit of success with it. Keep trying it out, keep experimenting with it, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for submitting those lists. If you'd like me to have a look at something you've done, put it down in the comments. Just copy and paste the text in. I don't need links or anything like that. Just copy and paste the text. That makes it the most visible. But for the time being, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, like the Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and I will catch you later.
Goodbye.